fulfillment of one of my life dreams, but it's just, I believe, fulfilling a life purpose. It's a God-given purpose that everybody, I think, is put here for some reason. I once had a client that during a session kind of turned the tables and said, all right, well, if you could do anything you wanted to do, no risks, this is like my bucket list show that will be in December, what would you do? And without blinking, I said, well, I'd like to be a roper. But it's not for fame, not for fortune, none of that. It's because I just feel I'm put here to try to share these wonderful people that have touched my life and messages to educate and to empower other people. So that's what it's about. And I just think we'll have a lot of fun along the way. So I don't think anything in life happens by accident. Everything is for a reason. And this show is an example of that. The way all these different lives have come together, the way things have unfolded in this wonderful theater. I'm just very, very excited, and I thank each of you for being here tonight. The show tonight has been a little bit of a difficult topic. I think it's our instinct to sort of shy away from topics that create fear in us. And that's what I found with this show. But this topic, the gift of fear, is not meant to create fear, but to educate and to empower each of you to be stronger. And it's just not about self-protection. We're going to talk about how in businesses it helps to make quicker, more effective decisions in terms of creativity and productivity. So a lot of different ways that we use our instinct. I'm so excited that all the people who I have with me tonight, some really, really great guests. I wanted to bring them out. First one I want to introduce is Betty Baird Krieger. You can read all these bios. I'm going to give just a short version. Betty Baird Krieger is the founder and owner of Betty Baird Krieger Golf Instruction Incorporated, as well as Straight Shot Incorporated. And she's been teaching golf for over 19 years. She has this outstanding history. She was a 9-time PDGA junior champion, and she was a member of the Kentucky High School Athletic Hall of Fame. And you'll soon see how strong and courageous she is. I'm honored to call her my friend, Betty Baird Krieger. Our next guest, David James. He's a member of the support services staff of the University of Louisville Police Department. He served as chief investigator at the Office of the Attorney General, and he served more than 19 years as a law enforcement officer with the Louisville Police Department. He also served as a homicide investigator, gang investigation specialist, and, I think this is really cool, 14 years on the SWAT team. David James. We all have a really good time having lunch and talking about these things, but when we really need to know the real basic part. Dr. Crystal Sonner, in private practice, practices and provides counseling assessments to people reacting to personal stressors and all kinds of anxiety disorders, so she's just a perfect fit for what we're going to talk about tonight. And one of the things she's going to talk about is the psychological basis for fear. Within the business realm, she's been instrumental in generating new product development, and she uses music oftentimes in the treatment of anxiety disorders. This is a way for her to quiet the mind, kind of center a person. And she's also, I think this is really, really neat, she's a songwriter, and her most recent song is entitled In the Middle of Peace. Let's welcome Dr. Crystal Sonner. Up with this topic. I was thinking, a tie to Halloween and all that, gift of fear, but it really didn't happen that way. I had a business relationship with Betty, and we met over coffee for the first time some time back, and she sends athletes to me to do mental toughness training with some for golfers. So we talked business, and right toward the very end of our time together, she happened to say something which, as you know, piqued my interest. She said, oh, yeah, it's something about she'd been on Oprah. I went, Oprah, really? For your golf exploits? And she said, no, it was something else. So she proceeds to tell me about the show she was on, along with the author of the book, The Gift of Fear, Gavin DeBecker. And Gavin DeBecker is the leading specialist in predicting violent behavior. So Betty was on the show with him, and he was there to applaud Betty for the way she handled an experience. And I'd like her to share that with us a little bit tonight.
Oh gosh, I never know where to exactly start with the story. It was about 12 years ago, exactly a day like today. It was cool outside and beautiful, and I decided to take my girls for a walk. They were 3 and 1 at the time. I have 4 children, by the way. The other 2 were in school. And I don't want to turn this into a 4-hour story. This guy that lived in our county had seen me on Inside Kentucky in a golf show. I was a host for many years on a local TV station. I found out years later he had seen me and had asked some people in Shelby County where I lived, and basically I was a victim during lunchtime, and he proceeded to follow me while I was walking the girls, and I was going to be his next victim. He had allegedly raped 2 women in our county that never did really come forward, unfortunately, but I was his victim for that lunch hour with my 2 girls. Long story short, he had followed us for about 45 minutes, and he posed as a lawn service salesman in November coming up to talk about lawn service. And my daughter's here, Molly. I only have one daughter here tonight.
Where's Molly? Where's Molly?
Molly's in the back.
Molly.
Molly's 15 now, and she was 3 at the time. And it's really interesting when I wound up on Oprah to realize that my fear of him as he drove up the driveway with a loud truck and Confederate flags and big red truck and all that, I was afraid because my subconscious knew he had been following us the whole time. So he had followed us, and he came up the driveway, and if anybody knows me, I'm not generally afraid of anything back then at
You
all.
said cars keep down your driveway
All the time, talked to people all the time, helped people, everything. The second he drove up that driveway, I didn't like his truck, I didn't like him, my girls were very standoffish. He got out of the truck. It was a very loud truck, and he got out of it and petted my 2 big dogs right away. Didn't say hello, didn't say anything, wanted to make friends with the dog. And I thought, that's really odd. And there was a few seconds there where he, you're pulling up somebody's driveway and you get out to sell them something, he's not even talking. So he did that. He was looking around a lot, asked me immediately within a minute if my husband was at home. That scared me to death. My palms, I was shaking, and still proceeded to talk to him, to be nice, to listen to him, just because I thought that's what I should do. Scared me 3 or 4 times, and every time that he noticed I was getting really afraid, he would apologize and say, sorry, I'm obviously scaring you. I've got to get back to work or get back to what I'm doing, and I just want to leave my card then for your husband. He would always come back with making me feel bad.
Which is the